as it is with any kind of a hiring or interviewing for a job, if you go in there and you prepare in a way that you know they're going to ask you questions about a process. I don't care what kind of a job you're, any kind of higher level job, they're going to want to see or hear examples of ways that you have worked in that type of an environment. So I think it's important as especially like for students of a program or somebody who's has some knowledge of it from studying it, really wants to break into it, is if you don't have that direct experience, if you don't have portfolio items, it's time to build them. Like you
Well,
should be building them.
you have
And
to have a portfolio.
you have to have those in order to get in the door. And if you have those, then you have something to speak about. You have that authenticity that you can show up and be very authentic with how you deliver, how you actually tackled some of the things in that portfolio. So for me, that puts me at ease when I would be fine going in for an interview. It's for me applying for a job, because when I look at some of the with UMBC, we get listservs. We get jobs that sent to us as students, which is amazing. And when I look at those, I get very intimidated because
Sure.
I don't have any of
I
those
don't qualify for
qualifications.
most of those jobs. I mean,
Thank you for
they're,
saying that, because
I
that's how you
mean, that's
feel.
true because you got to remember that HR writes these things, and God love them, and they're going to write these to cover all the bases that they need to cover, and that's great, right? Let's see, what's Pat saying? So
Yeah,
reviewing
Pat's
job
asking.
postings are just to get you the door correct. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So if you think about the way that a lot of these jobs are posted and how you apply for them, I know lots of people that apply for everything, even if they
Mm-hmm.
can't even spell instructional design. They will apply for that job because they need a job. So when you get through these, say you get 500 hits on a job, and you'll find that 1 or 2% of those are actually people that have anything to offer you, and so okay, that's the game now, and I get it. But this is just to get you in the door. And what I tell everybody is apply for every ISD position that you reasonably could fulfill. And by reasonably fulfill, I mean is in a location that you can get to work at. If it's not a remote job, can you physically go to downtown DC or downtown St. Louis, or can you be in San Bernardino or in Boston or in Idaho or Houston or wherever? Can you physically be there if that's the requirement? And can you basically say that yes, I can explain to you the basics of instructional design? And one thing I tell everybody is go in with the notion that I know I have a lot to learn. Okay, I have a whole lot to learn about this, but you know what? I want to learn about this. And the people that impressed me were the people that showed a real interest in this career in instructional design. They wanted to learn how to do these things. They wanted to do focus groups, and they wanted to do analysis, and they wanted to be there to look at the 4 levels of evaluation. They wanted to do return on investments and level threes where you go out 6 months and see if people retain this information that was taught to them. They want to get into the nitty gritty of it. And the more somebody can impress me with the idea that they're there to learn, I can teach them. Okay. I can teach them all this stuff. And the thing that I would say to people that are thinking about taking a course or getting into a program in instructional design, look at what that course or program actually provides. If it's a sit there and talk about it, I would not waste my money. If it's you're going to create a portfolio with all of these products you're going to produce as part of this program, then sign up and pick out the best program that does those things.
Absolutely. That's key right there. UMBC's program. That's what I love about it. It's portfolio based, because that's how like, applied learning, being able to actually hear the theory, learn the theory, very critical to do that, but to be able to actually apply that and create something out of that. In my brain, that's how it works. That's how it connects, and I'm assuming that's probably true of most learners.
Well, I would think so. And the thing that I used to love to do, and I don't do it anymore because I don't teach in class, not because of the pandemic, because we just went to an online program, which I think is much better for students anyway. But I used to take people's final projects in 602 and show them to them 5 years later. and watch the look on their face. And they're
I'm
saying,
sh-
you passed me? Why did you pass me? Because you quickly find out that in a period of time, you learn so much working and doing this work that, the basics are the basics. Anybody that's going to hire you understands that.
yeah,
And, the products you produce as you go through a program will be products that get you to that next staging area for learning so much better about all of this stuff. But I guess the key takeaway is just apply for everything and be ambitious about it. And
hmm
don't be afraid to say you don't know. Say, I'm learning. I'm starting out. This is a complex field, and nobody starts out at grade school wanting to be an instructional designer. It just doesn't happen. So we all come at this from all these different angles, and people that have been in the field and understand that will appreciate that instantly. You
yeah.
always have situations where people hiring know nothing about instructional design too, because it's the HR function doing it. And
hmm
there's so many different variations on the theme that I'm not going to say this is going to happen to you every time because I can't say that.
Right.
But I think where there are people in the field that understand the field, they will appreciate your enthusiasm and your basic level of knowledge if that's what you have. But don't be scared away by the PhD and the masters and all the rest of the stuff. Just go in and do it.
Just go in and do it. One thing that came to my mind when you were speaking is you cannot teach somebody how to have passion. So when you're a hiring manager and you see that passion in the person's persona, their eye contact, their enthusiasm, the way they're speaking about it, their eagerness to want to soak up what you're saying, you can't teach that. And that to me, like when I'm hiring, when I'm on hiring committees, I look for that enthusiasm because I can work with that. I can totally work with that. I can't work with somebody who has no enthusiasm. It's really hard to take that kind of person and turn them into an enthusiastic team member. And I would assume most hiring managers, they're looking for somebody who's enthusiastic as a designer.